Love it. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Another old fashioned. Love these, man. These are flame, bro.
So give me honestly a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rank it? And I know I'm
Dude, this is the 9.5.
9.5.
Yes.
Okay, so
The only reason I wouldn't give it another 0.5 is I never had this liquor before, so this is different to me.
Okay,
so this is
cool.
new. That's
Yeah.
the unknown factor.
We'll
that
have
was
to
it.
get you a bottle. You could sip on it at your own time. But what have you not liked about other old fashions that you've had?
They're too bitter.
Too bitter?
Too bitter or too sweet.
Okay.
It's hard to find an in between. This, to be honest, and I'm not saying it because he's in my company or because we're building this company together.
Or because I'm right here?
Because he's here. None of that. No, this is like medium, spot on,
Solid.
which is how I like it.
Cool.
Maybe other people are different.
Sure.
But when it comes to old fashions, I like them not too bitter, not too sweet, a nice medium level.
Nice.
A lot of times, we were talking about the cubes, how we like the large cubes earlier.
It's a game changer.
Right. And sometimes I feel like I really need to let it water down before it starts to kind of get good.
Yeah.
In some places,
Okay.
which also gives you a sign that it's not that good.
No, for sure.
So
Definitely.
you
No.
tell me, you're the pro.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I mean, however you felt about it, I mean...
I like this, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing missing right now is a nice little cigarrito.
A cigar?
Un purito.
That would hit.
Yeah, but we're in a corporate office, guys, so we can't smoke in here because then the alarms go off. So that's why. But next segment, we might do this in a cigar lounge.
Summer outdoors.
Yeah,
Summer,
outdoors, cigar
outdoors
lounge,
somewhere.
something, someone's backyard. We'll figure it out where we can smoke a nice little cigar. Maybe we give you guys a review. That'll be another little.
I love
nice little
that.
segment.
Thank you for that. So, right now you're having a bourbon old fashioned. Right now, what you're having is bourbon. Have you had a Oaxacan old fashioned?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's
with mezcal.
Correct.
Yes.
How do you feel about those?
I like them.
Yeah.
I personally like
It's an
them.
acquired taste.
Yes.
But if you like whiskey, which you do, like
I
whiskey,
prefer whiskey. Yes.
It's the same kind of like profile as bourbon, as whiskey, like that smokiness kind of
Yeah.
raw to it, strong.
Funny story. The reason initially I wasn't never into mezcal.
Okay. Love this guy.
I started drinking. This is after hours. I started drinking at an early age.
Okay.
So
I'm sure all of us did.
right, you're hanging out with the guys. There's some alcohol, and one of my buddies had a garage, a basement, and he had a little bar. His dad had a bar downstairs, and I remember being really young, too young, but young, and we decided to kind of take a shot of all the bottles in that bar.
It's a hell of a night for the boys.
Yeah. And the last one, I remember it being some kind of mezcal. And it tasted like an old leather shoe.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
It was
bad.
probably from Durango in a random bottle
Yeah.
that one of the grandpas made.
Probably. It tasted like, what? Leather. And that was my last shot. I was like, that's it. I don't remember what number it was, but it was like 7 or 8. It was up there. And I was just like, yeah. Aquí estoy bien. And I just remember the room spinning.
Oh, man.
They were watching a cartoon. The cartoon was bouncing. It was bad. I was like, hey, somebody take me home before my parents get home. There was somebody's cotillion. I don't know. Era una fiesta. Yo no fui. It was bad. So, Mom, I'm sorry. I got drunk that night. It wasn't the flu. But
Blame it on the flu.
I
man.
blamed it on the flu. I
I've used that one, don't
blamed it on the lunch I ate. It was something else that hit me.
Mom, your
But
ham sandwich. Something with the ham.
el jamón estaba malo, se pasó. It was one of those. So yeah, but that was the first time I had mezcal. So ever since then, I was kind of hesitant, and I feel like it started trending.
They'll do that to you.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to taste that mezcal. It reminded me of
that
that
experience.
That experience. So I was always hesitant, but yeah, I've tried since the Oaxacan old fashions or something with mezcal in it, and it's not. They don't all taste like old shoes, basically.
No, for
so
sure.
yeah.
No, mezcal has came a long way. The purest, though, is probably what you tried. It's probably the purest form of mezcal. I'm sure probably now, maybe at your age now, your palate has matured. I'm sure it'd be great, but it's very strong. It's very
Yeah,
strong.
it's good. But now, since then, what's the difference between the bourbon and the
And the
like mezcal?
Oaxacan, right, for sure. So obviously bourbon is whiskey, right? It's you got age it in barrels. They're gonna it's just whiskey, and then the mezcal is from an agave as well, just like tequila is, but it's a raw agave, and then that just sits in barrels, and that's where it gets its really unique.
Is tequila more processed as a result?
It is. It can be, but all tequila is blue agave. It has to be blue agave in order for it to be considered a tequila. However, a mezcal, it is from agave, but it can be from any type of agave. It doesn't necessarily have to be blue agave.
Is there like a different color? Excuse the question, but like,
Oh, man,
is there red? Is there pink? Is there green?
No, that's a question that I honestly don't know. I know there's like wild agave, like that's because it's born. Well, it's born, but it's grown in all types of levels of mountains, right? So
Yeah.
different type of agave, an agave that they bring up like at a lower at the lower part of a mountain or at a lower plain is going to be different than an agave that they grow on top of a mountain, right? The conditions are completely
Right.
different. So that all plays into a role into how that spirit is made, onto how it tastes,
Right.
on the palate, everything, on how it picks up the flavors from the barrel. All that plays into effect. Honestly, yeah. Man.
That's crazy because it's like when you think of wine, there's these wine connoisseurs that they can like taste
Sommeliers,
it.
right?
Yeah, the sommeliers. They
Yeah.
smell it, they taste it, and
Grapes and all that.
they could tell you where it's from, what
region,
region,
yeah.
what flavor.
I want to get to that level, man. Honestly,
That's some skill. Like
Yeah,
we're
it
over here
is.
trying to sell houses at a high level. Imagine selling that wine at a
Right,
high level.
exactly.
God bless. God
It's
bless.
unique. It's,
So I don't know what region this is from, but it's good.
But it's hitting.
It's hitting. It's hitting for sure. So
So no, I wanted to stay here and talk to you a little bit more. I'm big on sports. You're big on sports. It's one thing that kind of makes us a little closer. Makes the bond that much easier. So spring, we're in March. We got baseball right around the corner. Are you a Cubs or Sox guy? Remind
Cubs.
me. Cubbies.
Cubs.
What? Tell me about that. That's a story because you're from Chicago. Cubs, Sox. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Why the Cubs?
It's a funny, great question because I
Yeah.
feel like that's a question a lot of more people need to answer.
Yes.
Because there's always a story behind it. Like you said, like why are you a Cubs fan? Why are you a Sox fan? Right? For me, originally, I'm actually colorblind.
Oh shit.
I can't
There you go.
distinguish certain colors in certain tones, like blues, like greens. So it trips me out, right?
Wow.
Because I think I might see something like green or brown, and I think it's the other.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I hear it's a common thing with men.
Okay.
However,
One of my best friends is colorblind.
so I have that little deficiency. Let's just call it.
Yeah.
Defect. Not even a defect. It's not a defect. It's just a little condition.
Yeah. Condition.
But Cubs were blue and red. No problem there. I could see that. No issues.
Sure.
But the Sox, the black and white, to me, it just looked sleek. It just looked elegant. It was something about it. So growing up as a kid, I liked the Sox logo.
Okay.
But they never won. They never did anything.
They still don't.
They still don't. The Cubs, same thing. They were the lovable losers.
Global losers.
But Sammy Sosa came around. And when I was growing up, it was Frank Thomas. And then shortly after Frank Thomas, it was Sammy Sosa.
Yes. Yes.
So long story short, it was kind of this battle where I figured out, hey, I got to like decide between one or the other. Cubs or Sox because the city's kind of divided.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like the uniform of the Sox. But the Cubs, I see the potential. It's that, like, we got to go for it. This is the year.
This is
And,
the year.
and I know in 05 the Sox won, but I didn't feel it. It was just kind of like, oh, good for them.
Yeah.
But when the Cubs were in it, and they were about to win, and then the foul ball came.
Bartman? Are you
The
talking about
Bartman,
Bartman?
yes.
Oh, man.
I cried. I cried.
Oh,
I felt
man,
it.
you felt
I
that.
felt
That
it.
hit you.
That hit me. That hit me hard. So obviously, Sammy Sosa all the way. That swing, I tried to emulate it in Little League and
His
everything.
little hop.
The little hop. Ooh,
Oh,
I would always
God, I got
copy
the
that.
chills, man.
Yeah, so I would always copy that. So something about the Cubs just felt. I just felt more.
Yeah.
And as a result, that was it.
That's what got you.
That's what I was like. Cubs all the way, all the
Yeah.
way.
Speaking about the Cubs, man, so Noe and I, along with a couple of our leaders, Jose Bonilla, Anthony Morel, we experienced the Cubs game last year. Tell them a little bit more about that Cubs game, kind of what we did. Obviously, the Cubs game, and kind of the energies that were there.
Oh, that day was a special day for me.
special, man.
It was special. It was because not only was the Cubs my favorite team, but here we are building this company
Yep.
from nothing. It was something that just morphed into something, and now we're doing it with some amazing individuals.
So you took a leap of faith on it.
I took a leap of faith on. And here we are at the Cubs game, and it was a beautiful fall day.
Dude, it was gorgeous.
Gorgeous day.
I mean, the sun went.
Yeah,
Come on.
it was like
like-
if you think perfect baseball weather,
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And we were just having our meetup, our pack meetup for Illinois. So we're introducing the company to everybody. And to be there with somebody like Anthony, the founder, and Jose, somebody who I connected with in this company, somebody that I grew up with in this company, somebody that I could kind of be like toe to toe, like this is what we did, this is what we're building, here we are, and somebody like you who is taking that leap of faith into
Watching you guys.
watching us, and then taking that leap of faith of like, yeah, I'm gonna follow you guys, I'm gonna be there right there with you guys to build this. And here we are enjoying a beautiful Chicago day.
Yeah.
Like that was just
It was like
hands
picture
down
perfect, man.
picture perfect. Like
Yeah,
you
it
couldn't
really
even
was.
planned it any better. It was just like so amazing to see. And then not to mention me and you, we're from Chicago. We grew up with this, right? But here these guys are from California and Colorado. They're not even here. They felt it. They were there right with us. Like, damn, look at this park. Look at the city. Perfect baseball weather. It was just like the American dream just coming together. It
Love
was
how you
so
put that,
amazing.
yeah. No, the energy was like, it was just picture perfect, man.
It
really
was.
Okay, the Cubbies. We got that coming right around the corner. He's a Cubbies guy. I'm a Cubbies guy. We're in the middle. We're talking about sports now. We're in the middle of basketball season, maybe a little past the midway point of the season. Our team is the Bulls, and it hasn't been. I'm a little jealous of you. I'm a little jealous of you because I didn't get to experience the Jordan years.
Dude.
How was that? Man, I lived through it through my dad and through YouTube videos. How was that?
I mean, when it comes to sports, I'm the only boy in the family.
Okay.
And my mom has made a comment where, like, I haven't seen a sports game since you moved out. Because it's nothing but girls
It's
in
just
the
girls,
house. It's
yeah.
just girls in the house.
for
And
sure.
Jordan is not around anymore. But there was just something about that era that you just needed to watch.
Wow.
It was just amazing to see, obviously, Michael Jordan, right? A lot of the people watching, they just know him from the shoes.
Yeah.
It's just a logo with the
Jordans.
brand.
Okay.
You know, it's a brand. But I saw the man himself kind of grow up and inspire
Wow.
millions, you know?
amazing.
So it was one of those things where I'm a little Mexican boy, 5'0", and I thought I was going to play in the NBA and become a
Wow.
basketball player growing up for a short period of time. Now, I
You had that
quickly,
dream.
I had that dream. I quickly had to wake up to
Yeah.
the realization I'm not going to be 6 feet tall. I'm probably not going to be in the NBA. But Jordan made me believe that I
Wow.
could. It was
Powerful.
just watching that. And it was one of those things that you were watch the game. And guys, we're in Chicago right now. Chicago right now at this moment is not.
We're hurting.
It's not a winning. It's not winning anything.
It's not a winning city in terms of
It's
sports.
not. It's not. It's like they're on the down or up and coming gentrification era. It's not happening.
A little bit of both.
It's not happening. Like what the hell? So it's one of those things where it's like we were so used to just like, oh, we're gonna
Championship. We're going to the playoffs.
championship. We're good. We're in the
Guess what?
playoffs. We're solid. And then let's see what happens in the finals. And it was just amazing to see that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of one of those things that you kind of learn to see what can be taken for granted. You got so used to winning, winning, that as a fan, as an outsider, you're like, oh, we got this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, things change.
Yep.
They retire, they move on, they go to other teams.
Yep.
And it's so hard to find that next opportunity.
Yeah.
D Rose got me there.
What
do you think about that?
That was that's the last time I was very dialed into Chicago Bulls basketball. I called Derrick Rose my brother. I was fascinated with him. Like, he was my hero. I would ditch school. I was studying for, I don't know if it was like what do you take as a junior?
The SATs?
SATs or all those?
Yeah.
Dude, we had these classes, like, we had to pay extra, and in order to prep for the SATs, you had to go to these classes after hours. And, dude, that was when the Bulls were playing. I was like, I got to get home. The Bulls are playing. Derrick Rose was playing. It's versus the Pacers. They just hit him last game. I got to go watch this. Like, by SATs, I didn't even care about that. Dude, I was dialed in for that. Yeah, that was like our Jordan for this era, man.
Yeah,
he was
that
special.
was a good time, man.
And then a Chicago kid, an Inglewood kid, his story. Oh my God, bro, that was special.
Till this day, obviously they just retired his number, but
well deserved.
But when he went down with that ACL, oh my God!
I thought I went down with an ACL.
Everybody, the whole city felt it. It was just like, damn, there goes my hero.
You see, man.
It was,
and not just one time, but like again,
multiple. And it was just like, man, and I felt it extra because I tore my ACL, man.
Oh, did you?
I was trying to be Jordan.
Playing basketball?
Playing basketball. I was going to be the next Michael Jordan. I was still that 5'0" kid from Mexico that figured, I could be him. But, bro, at Community Center in Franklin Park?
No, the one on, what's that, like?
On 25th
and like Belmont, Edison, what is that?
Franklin Avenue.
And Franklin?
Yeah, right there, man.
You blew
pick
your
up
ACL.
basketball. I'm over there. I'm crossing over this guy. I heard a pop. Dude, I just stole the ball. I thought the guy that I stole it from hit me with a baseball bat on the side of my knee. That's how it felt. So when I went down, I was looking for a kid with a bat. And I just felt a pop. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. Bro, I did nothing but go home, ice it, go to El Salvador, pop it back in place.
No, not the ACL.
Well, I thought my knee was dislocated, so I just popped them back in place. And I continued. I went to high school, I tried out for the baseball team, and I thought my knee was good until one day I'm running down first baseline. I hit a grounder, and I'm running down the line, I hit the base, and pop goes my knee again. Needless to say, I had to retire.
No, man, this is insane.
I had to retire. That was the end of my career. Baseball, basketball. I hung him up. Hopefully they retire my number one day.
The horse strangle.
Then I brought out the horse and started riding horses.
I don't need my knees for this, right?
And even then, I had some incidents there. But yeah, that was it. That was it for my career, man. I thought I was going to be the next Jordan until I dislocated my knee. Messed up my ACL.
Wow, Jordan. All right, man. Completely. We're talking about Jordan, might as well since we're on the topic of Jordan. Do you have Jordans? Do you wear Jordans? Are you familiar with Jordans?
Dude, story on those with me.
Love it.
I had a pair of Jordans when I was a kid. My mom and dad bought those.
I think all Hispanics, especially like first generation, have a story about Jordans.
Yeah, I think so. So for me, it was like I saw him growing up. He was my hero. I wanted to be like Mike, all of that.
Yep.
And I remember my mom had, I don't even remember what number they are because I'm not the greatest with these numbers, but they were like, right now I wear cowboy boots. But I had the ones with the elephant print, was it? The Jordan, I want to say 4 or 5s.
Okay.
And they had that little print on them.
Okay.
And I remember I had those in white. And they were like the greatest shoes ever.
I think I could picture them now.
And they were white. They were with that gray, a little blue on them. Beautiful shoes. But I knew that my mom and dad worked their butt off to get those for me. It wasn't just like a shoe. And ever since that, you know, they did the best to provide, but I didn't get Jordans ever since after that. And when I was a teenager, I wanted them, but I thought they were too expensive, so I kind of refrained and talked myself out of it. It wasn't until I was in my 20s, 30s, that all of a sudden, because every time I would see a Jordan, I was like, I'm going to just talk myself out of them. It's too much money. And then finally, I'm doing real estate. I'm selling. I'm making money. Then I was like, I'm gonna buy myself some Jordans. I can afford them. I'm gonna buy myself some Jordans. I told my wife, and she was like, "Yeah, get them. You deserve them." And I talked myself out of them again.
Wow.
And she finally got them. My wife finally got them for my birthday. I told her I wanted some black on black Jordan ones, and she got them for me. And those are the ones that till this day, they're just. They're there. Those are my ones. But I talked myself out of them for so many years because están muy caros.
Yeah.
It's just a shoe. Están muy caros. ¿Para qué los necesitas? It was just, why am I going to pay over $100 for a pair of shoes? It's just shoes. I'm going to just, burn them out.
Yeah, no,
So,
it makes complete sense.
but I remember Jordan be like Mike, you jump higher, run faster, all of that stuff. That was my story.
The Jordans, man, I love it. It wasn't, honestly though, it wasn't for a while that I had my Nina as I was a baby that would give me Jordans. But when I could, I was a baby, I didn't really truly appreciate them. And then as a toddler growing up, I'm just beating them up. But it wasn't until I was an adult, until I was in my mid-20s, till my first pair of Jordans. And that's when I truly was like, whoa. Like, I I held them up like this was the best thing ever,
Yeah.
And it's crazy that I still have them, and I probably will not ever just let them go. Like it's my first Jordan. I'm gonna always have it.
What about this shoe? Because you mentioned earlier, we're like, you were jealous of me because I lived through that era where I was watching the game live, and you didn't see it live. You were too young. We're 10 years apart, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it's like, in 96 was the last championship. I was 12.
Yeah, at least you understood it, right?
Yeah, you were like, what, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
so like you were a baby at that time, What does Jordan mean to you now? Like, is it just the brand? Is it just the shoe? Or is it something else?
I think it's just it's a lifestyle. Man, he was a hard ass. Like, it's Jordan. Like, it's automatic respect. He was committed, and whatever it took to win the game, he was going to do. And man, that's a beautiful thing. That's when I think Jordan, that's what I think. Yeah. I think flu game. I think his dunks. I think his I'm gonna go dunk it, and then the New York Knicks player, hey, I'm right here. He's like, all right, dribbles it out, psych. I'm back, and boom, like that's him. That's who Jordan was to me. Yeah. So that's what I think when I think of Jordan. Just like, besides the brand, just like a mindset of don't stop.
Don't stop. Just keep going. Like that guy made you think the impossible was possible. Because you're like, how can that guy jump and dunk a ball like that? Right. Like, it's no way. From the free throw line. So it made you think that anything that you wanted to do was I could do it. Yeah, I could do it. Sure. It's just so crazy how it just transcended more than just the sport itself.
Exactly.
And even somebody like generations later still gets inspired.
It still hits, man. My little brother still Jordan. Like that's his impact on the game was like no other, man.
That was awesome.
It really wasn't. I mean, we're talking about basketball right now, so I guess someone else that I would like to bring up because, there's a fine line there. Not that there's a fine line, but there's a I feel like there's no in between. You either really like this guy or you don't like him at all. Who do you think I'm talking about?
LeBron.
LeBron. Talk to me a little bit more about LeBron. How do you feel?
LeBron James, as somebody who saw the Jordan era and now the LeBron James era.
Because it's his era now, would you not say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. Like, here's the thing. I saw Kobe, and Kobe was
so
a beast.
it went from Michael to Kobe
to LeBron. I think
would
so.
you give it in that, like...
Yeah, I would, personally, my opinion, right?
Okay.
We're probably going to crop this up, and hopefully we make ESPN, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Pack sponsored by
Pack sponsored, ESPN, shout out.
30 for 30.
I think it went Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And then the LeBron, honestly, I give him his props. The man's a beast. The guy knows what he's doing. He's consistent. I still think Jordan is better. Not as a bias. I grew up in Chicago kid, but as the fact that the man did it in an era where it was physical, it was contact, it was you had to be the best, man. The real deal. No, I'm gonna partner up with D Wade, and I know they say he had Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, but it wasn't what it was with D Wade and
Bosh.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where Jordan has that on him.
He has that going for himself.
Yeah,
that he maybe
I
necessarily
think so. I think so. He didn't do. He did it more on his own with the right key players like everybody else, but it wasn't the superstar team like what it was with
that they
built and they decided to kind of join forces. Yeah. I think that's the main difference.
That separates them.
However, LeBron, all due respect to him, the guy's been so consistent for so many years.
He's a GOAT, man.
Even right now, he's what? I think he's my age, 40.
And he's putting up MVP numbers.
Dude, and he's fucking killing it.
He's a GOAT, man.
He's killing it. So that in his own lets him be the man in his own right. Yeah. And then that's the thing. You want to compare Kobe to Jordan to LeBron, and it's just so hard because prior to that, you were competing Jordan to Magic, Jordan.
That was his era.
Larry. Dr. J. Like so many greats that you were always trying to compare, and they were all so unique, so different. So I feel like in that way, he deserves his props. As does Jordan, as does Magic, as does Shaq, Kobe Larry Bird, all of them. They all deserve their props. They were just so unique and different in their own way.
Cool, I love it. And okay, cool. So let's maybe transition here out of basketball, and let's talk about man, my favorite. Let's talk about football. Our near and dear Chicago Bears. So just
bear down,
baby. Just recently we had rest in peace, Miss Virginia McCaskey passed away. But it kind of now does feel like we're kind of transitioning into a different era of Chicago Bears football. Last year wasn't the year that we wanted. No. I think we all expected a little more. How do you feel this year? Maybe it's still very early. Super Bowl just ended a few weeks ago, but we got a new head coach. We're already adding a few offensive linemen. How do you feel this year? Is there optimism? What do you want? What do you expect? Do we need to make the playoffs? Do we need to just win 8 games? Where are we at?
Yeah, as also a lifelong Chicago Bears fan.
40 years just heavy.
I was born in '84. They won in '85. I don't remember a damn thing about it, but that's all you hear.
You were alive for it.
I was alive for it, I guess. That counts, right?
That counts.
So it was one of those things that I've always seen the Bears, again, they're not where they need to be. I was a big Cutler guy. I thought they were going to do it with him. Didn't happen. They made the Super Bowl with Grossman.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was big, but we knew we didn't have a good offense there. We were hoping that the Colts would be average that day, and they weren't, so damn pain. So it was one of those that we're like right there, but no. I think this year I had more optimism for the year before. I feel something happened where they had the talent, and the coaching just wasn't there,
Yeah.
and it just fell through. Something just went wrong.
Yep.
This year, I'm hoping with this new coaching change, obviously they're getting the top guy, the most talked about guy, the guy that's been having success in the league for the longest.
Troy guy, right? Right up north.
Or exactly, right there, knows the division. I mean, things are on paper trending to go well. As a fan, I just don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too excited. I just kind of want to say, hey, if they just do better than last year, great, good for you. But I'm hoping at this point they got the coaches, they got the number 1 pick, they got all the draft picks, they set themselves up nicely. At this point, I say they got to make the playoffs and compete. They got to compete.
That's the standard.
At bare minimum,
like be right there.
be right there. Be in the conversation. Don't just miss a Hail Mary and call it a day.
And
that's not what needs to
where
happen.
the season unravels.
It just unraveled. It was like they were 4-2 when that Hail Mary happened,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden the season just unraveled. That you guys can't call timeouts. You can't call the proper play at the right time. You just kind of vaya con Dios. Yeah, that's got to change. That's what I'm hoping at least changes.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think?
No, definitely same, man. I think overall just bit disappointed last year with the way the season kind of unfolded. Just honestly on the players and on the coaching staff a little bit. So I'm just kind of hoping that Ben Johnson holds players accountable, just like kind of Pack holds us accountable, which is what I love. You hold me accountable. That's kind of what I'm hoping that Ben Johnson kind of brings to the table. And no, just because you're the number 1 overall pick, you don't just get to do what you want to do or whatever. No, there's just standards to being in the NFL, and I'm gonna hold you accountable. This is how I did it over here. We won. My method showed that it worked. I'm gonna bring that here, and you're gonna work, and we're gonna hold you accountable. And that's kind of what I hope that he brings here. We have young talent, but I don't think they were being held accountable, and I'm hoping that he kind of brings that out of them, and then brings a little creativity, a little kind of uniqueness. We're in a modern age of football. Let's see it in Chicago. I'm tired of that same shit defense let's see some offense now. Yes, defense.
Some flair.
Yeah, some flair. Defense is always going to win you the championships. That's a staple. We understand that. But we've never had anything just ground game, ground and pound. Let's bring a little pizzazz. Come on, let's get in tune with the new modern NFL. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Get up to date. Get with the times.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
Definitely. So, yeah.
I love it. Chicago Bears conversation on a Thursday night. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I love it. Season can't get here any sooner.
we're what is it? March? We're already talking about September. Let's go. Bear down.
Bear down. Bear down.
I love it. See what else? What do you think of hockey? We're Latinos, so we're not too into hockey.
Hockey, man. Hockey is a beautiful thing, man. Hockey is such a beautiful sport. I'm blessed to have one of my best friends, man. Been knowing this kid since 4 or 5 years old. He's a badass hockey player, and he still coaches Puerto Rico, Team Puerto Rico. Shout out Tony. He's like the head coach, runs the he's one of the people that run the organization. He's the one that got me into hockey, and I'm blessed to be alive. Well, honestly, out of the major sports teams in Chicago, I mean, that's the franchise that has brought us, or at least me, the most championships. A couple in a row, 2, 3 in a row, or 3. I don't even remember.
Blackhawks were killing it for a bit.
They were killing it, man. They're the real deal, and it'll forever be like I'll appreciate it because I got to witness it. I don't know. I've never played hockey though. I don't know how to skate.
You don't play?
I don't know how to skate. I don't know how to do
I've
shit,
never.
man.
Neither do
But
I.
it's fun, bro. I like it that you could hit people. It's men playing intense and just it's a fun sport and it's nonstop. Puck's always going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that might be why people can't relate though, because they can't play it.
they can't play it.
Yeah,
or they
I feel
can't
like-
hop on skates.
Right. Like basketball, you grab a ball, you
Pretty-
bounce it, you can shoot it. You
Soccer
know.
ball too, kind of.
Soccer,
Pretty.
una pelota, vamos a patearla, and you
Yeah,
kind of
bro.
run with it, you know. But with hockey, it's like
On ice.
On ice. Where are you gonna find the ice?
On skates.
On skates. I gotta get
We don't
skates.
got ice in Mexico.
Well, no, we don't have it. So it's one of those things. It's a little bit harder. I think that's the
But
downside
it's
with
growing, bro.
it. It is growing.
It's growing.
It is
People
growing.
want to see that, like, intensity.
It's
that,
faster. It's more intense.
Yes.
You know.
The
So
action is there.
yeah.
For sure, man. I'm blessed. We're blessed that we got to witness that little run the Hawks went on, man.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You play any sports right now?
I do. Right now I'm playing softball. Casually, 16-inch softball, just having a good time with the guys. It's a nice kind of just get away from like the grinding of real estate and the grind that comes with it, man. It's nice to just kind of get away with the guys, play softball, and just ball out.
I love it. I love it. What about it aside from like obviously getting away from things? How does it help you just kind of like chill out, unwind, get your mind right?
For sure. I mean, we're with the guys first of all, so you're just kind of bullshitting, kind of cracking jokes, and then I'm doing something that I love, man. I born and raised, played baseball all my whole life. Obviously, I'm not playing now, but that's the closest thing that I can get to it. So it's just a distraction. That's all it is. Just a distraction from the everyday grind, from the just talking business. That's what we are. That's why I'm very close with you, because we get it. It's just business, and we're trying to make the next move. And then that softball kind of just serves, gives me a way to just kind of just like, man, leave all that shit over there. Just
Yeah.
play ball.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Recharge.
Recharge, right?
Get ready for the new
Exactly.
week. Attack, grind. It helps you kind of like let some energy out on the field versus
Exactly.
bring it to work.
Exactly.
I love it. I love that.
And kind of similar to that's you bring that up. That's something that I take pride in, that I like to enjoy. Flipping the script now on you. You ride horses, or what is it that you do?
Yeah, so I do coleaderas. Or yeah.
My pops would always mention that, and I would go to Mexico and coleaderas. Are you going to what is that?
So basically, a bunch of guys to get together on horses, and we take turns chasing a bull down 60 meters, and we got to do it with a certain technique where you saludar, pachonear, grab the tail, you got to wrap the tail underneath your foot and knock it down within 60 meters. Depending on the distance, they score you on that.
Wow.
You get 3 attempts.
Okay.
And it comes from the origins of back in the day when you had to rope down cattle, knock it down for vaccinations or things of that nature. And it's just el deporte mexicano, right? So I always grew up, obviously, with what we were talking about earlier. My grandpa was an influence on me. He had cattle. So that got me into the horse world. And then here in the States, it's kind of like the Mexican rodeo. You know, you have coleaderos happening in the spring and in the summer and fall every so often. So like your softball is my coleaderos, where I'm chasing cows, knocking them down,
Nice.
and riding horses just to unwind, recharge, just kind of reconnect with our foundation and get ready to attack the week.
The week again, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like de-stress.
Yeah.
Do what you love to do. Connect with your people, and within that, and kind of let loose, man. Just have a good time. That's beautiful.
I love
So
it.
you said saludar.
Pachonear and then arcionar, which is where you grab the tail and you wrap it around your foot. You have to knock it down. Depending on how it falls, they grade you.
There's a scale on how this bull falls.
Yeah, if it just
Wow.
kind of like drops the butt to the floor, it's a certain point.
wow.
If it rolls a certain way, it's another
Is that
point.
better?
Is it better? Yeah.
Because you took his legs out? or-
Exactly. And then if you make it roll on its back and then roll its legs over,
shit.
that's even more
That's
of
like
a
the
better
grand
technique. That's
technique.
like the best technique there.
Oh, wow.
And then obviously they give you extra points depending on the distance. If you did it closer to where he came out of, they give you a higher score.
Oh, so you want to be closer to where he...
Yeah. So the sooner you knock him down, the better, in a way. So yeah, absolutely.
I remember going to a couple coleaderas, but I was just there to booze.
Yeah.
I was just there.
It's
to
a great
booze
time.
and like chance on the people doing it. I didn't know how they were being judged, how they were being like critiqued, scored, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the sport that, you know, a lot of people, it turned into this thing where it was just like, hey, let's just go have fun and music and booze and all of that. But
Me.
if you pay attention to it,
Music, booze, shit. Let's
yeah,
go.
we're there, right? And we're all there, but it's a sport. It's a sport, and the guys that do it at a high level, they don't drink, they practice, they're professionals at their
no, for
craft. They're training the horses, taking care of the horses, practicing the technique, and then they go out and compete. So now it's becoming more and more. It's an up and coming sport for sure, especially in Mexico. I think it's something that's a little bit more, getting more awareness, getting more polish, and hopefully people here in the States start to see a little bit more of that. If you start searching down YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, you're gonna see more of it.
Really?
If you start searching coleaderas, it'll start showing up on your algorithm, and you'll start seeing more of it. And it's more of a technical thing, a sport versus borrachera, where we're just gonna go out and party. No, it's not always about that. You see some of these guys, they don't even drink. They take care of themselves. They're athletes, you know. They're athletes, and that's awesome to see, because I do it for fun, to unstress and unwind and kind of like forget about things. Let loose for a bit on the weekends, you know, things like that as a hobby. But these guys do it at a professional level, and they do it at a really high level.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's intense. That's beautiful.
We got to go to one this year.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
the goal for one of our pack events. Like,
okay.
Go out and take all of you guys to a little rodeo here.
I would love to see that.
That would be a good time. With
I
all.
would love to see that. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Pack after hours.
However you're feeling, man.
I'd call it a wrap, man. We went on
9
for
o'clock.
a good time. I love it.
That was good, man.
All right,
You
guys.
got some good extra.
That's a wrap. Pack Talk with Joey and Noe.
Yes.
Pack Talk, here to help. Anything that we can do, business, sports, real estate, bartending services.
Yes, sir.
We got you guys covered. Give us a call anytime.